Hello everyone, this is going to be aerosynthesis part 5, which will be firebending. I had left my other shafts downstairs before I came up here to film this, but I've already firebent 2 shafts, and one of them accidentally broke because it was the dead branch, and it had a lot of kinks in the middle, and when you have a lot of kinks, if you try and firebend them a lot all at once, you can break the shaft like that because of too much pressure. The wood will be still soft from being recently bent. And whenever you're doing this bending, you can see sometimes we get scorch marks right here, but you have to watch out not to leave any what's called like a hot spot, which is where you'll just maybe if you just done a bend like right here, you don't want to move just a couple inches and that'll be your next bend, because this area is still hot. So if you're bending this, well, you got pressure with the back of your hand, which is bending this even more. So that's just something you want to avoid. But when you're doing the bending, you need something that will deliver the heat to the wood that you're trying to bend, and this is some Crisco. And I took it out of a big bottle and put it in this, and I used paper towel to keep it all in there. And this, when you put a layer over a piece of wood, so if you look down your shaft, you can see there's parts that need bending. And I'm not going to use this for an arrow because this has a lot of bends. I've spent a lot of time trying to get these bends out, but it's pretty complex bend. But if you don't try and obviously try and pick shafts that have the least amount of bend when you pick them. So I have taken the Crisco that's on the paper towel and rubbed it here, which will form a thin it'll just be sitting on the surface, so you gotta let it soak in for a minute or two. And then after we let it soak in, we're going to take a lighter here because it's raining outside, and you can do this over a fire, which is my favorite because you get to build a fire, but and it heats the wood more effectively. But you can use a lighter as well, and the lighter helps just to heat one specific area, and keeps a large area from getting hot, which helps control how much bend you get. And you gotta warm up the wood until try not to get it scorched, but you try and warm the wood to where it's so hot that you can when you touch it, like stings a little bit, it'll burn a little. And it's getting there. It's decently warm. And once you get it nice and hot like that, and you bend the wood, you have to put it down, let it cool, and when you're done, if it was heated high enough, then the wood should stay where you bent it and won't go back. Okay, so that's really hot. So I'm going to look down the shaft again to see what kind of bending I need to do. So then you take the shaft and you can bend it over your knee, which is what I'm going to do here. And you can see it's very compliant because it's very hot, and the Crisco helps the heat penetrate down to the center of the shaft. So you're supposed to hold it for a couple minutes until it's not too hot anymore, which this is already happening. So I'm going to go ahead and take it off and look down, and this portion of the shaft is a good bit straighter, but it's just the compound bend on this shaft is, as you can see, I spent a lot of time trying to get this fire bent, and it's mostly this ladder section here. It has 2 bends. The one in the middle I've mostly worked out, but this bend here kind of goes up and off to the side, and that's hard to get on just bending on your knee. But I'll keep at it, and if I get it straight, then I'll tell you. That there was another shaft that was made out of the pin cherry, and it was made out of the heartwood of it, and it was bent really badly, and I couldn't straighten it out, so I just set it aside. I'm not going to be able to finish that, but I did straighten out one of the pin cherries, puncherry shafts and one of these shafts. And like I said, it broke the dead branch on accident. So hopefully I can get this straightened here in a while. Alright, the next part will be fletching the shaft, which is, it's not going to fly without good fletchings. So tune in again. Thank you.